Hi, students. This week we're going to talk about political sensitivity and how that influence a company outlook and outcomes and profit and revenue and everything. Now, why we care about political sensitivity? For three reasons. But before we explain the reason, what is that political sensitivity? Political sensitivity means how the party that control the White House or the Senate and the House influences the outcome or the revenue or the return for the company. So we have a two parties, Republican and Democrat. So we call this political cycle. And how each party influence each company, that's we call it political sensitivity. So this is what we're gonna do this week. Now, why should I care for political sensitivity? Three reasons, at least. Number one is monopoly. The government is a monopoly in every country. For example, United States, Biden government is the monopoly here. For example, when they tax me, I cannot ask HR, Connie, go take my taxes, give it to the French government, and I get the service from the in Colorado, and then the French government will work with Colorado state or with the federal. No, I have to pay to the government in the US, and then now get the services from them. Um, I cannot, for example, pay for my healthcare as a HR go pay Canada for healthcare, and I get the service here, and then they would check out with the Canadian government. No, you pay here, and you check out here. I mean, you pay your taxes here, you get the service here. You cannot select what countries to get service or what. So that's a monopoly. So you have a government, and then you pay them taxes, and you get the services from them. You cannot diversify. You just work with them. Now, if you like the Canadian healthcare, then and that's it. Then leave the country and go to Canada. If you like the education system in France and that's big deal for you, well then leave the country, go to France, or the opposite. If the people in France don't like it, come here on this. So a government is monopoly. That's number one. Number two is the government the biggest buyer in the economy. 42% in the US, maybe 44 this year. 44% of the US GDP is produced by the government. I mean, people talk about capitalism and this, but still, the US government, 44% of the US GDP is by the government. When I say government, I mean state, city, state, and federal. So the biggest demander still in the US economy is the government. And third, regulation and things like that. So the government regulate how to produce, when to produce, the cost of production, environmental permits, no permits, and things like that. For example, um, they can raise your tax, lower your tax, labor, not labor. You have to pay pension, you didn't have to pay pension. A lot of things going on. And in fact, the government is a partner in every company in the United States. About 21% corporate tax, and then there's another 14% sales tax, uh, payroll tax, and this like that. So basically 33%, 34% of the company profit going taxes. Basically, the government is a partner in every company in the United States that making a profit. So, so these are the three reasons why political sensitivity matter. So how are we gonna do that? It's a long process, but we're gonna start now. We're gonna share the screen, and we're gonna start with the handout here called political sensitivity. So I'm gonna talk about the theory, going to empirical, back to theory, empirical theory. So it's back and forth here. So if the first time you cannot understand it, don't worry because it's a video, many minutes. You will understand this later. So let's start with the political sensitivity. Uh, we estimate the political sensitivity for a company. Suppose company J, they have a return every month or every year, whatever you want to do it monthly, we're going to do it. Minus RF risk-free return equal alpha J plus beta J RM minus RF. RM is market return, which is in this case S&P. Minus RF is a risk-free return plus theta J. It's a coefficient that we want to estimate that multiplied by the political cycle dt plus mut. So everyone, we're going to estimate, this is the model that we're going to estimate from the paper by Santa Clara and Volkanov. They published that in the Journal of Finance, which is a top finance journal. It's an A star in 2003, and they call it the presidential puzzle. So if you go here, the presidential, here we go. political cycle. So this is Journal of Finance. That's an article in 2003. So I'm gonna simplify this article, make it for the class. It's a high quality paper, high quality research, but it's important exercise. So we're gonna simplify that so you can use it in Excel. You can solve it in Excel. Back to the model. That's a baseline model in his article, in their article, I should say. And these are the definition. The key for us is to estimate the theta for the model. If theta above zero, then this company is favored by Democrat. If it's below zero, favored by Republican. And if theta equal to zero, it's a neutral. And then there is some information. So this is, you can read it. And then we need to calculate data about RJ, RF, RM, and RF, and DT. So we're gonna cook a dinner. First, we need to buy meat and vegetables. So these are the meat and vegetables. And then the goal is to estimate theta. This is the goal, and I put it in yellow. So now, probably by now you have to say, Yosef, I have no idea what are you doing, what are you talking about it? No problem, because I'm going to collect the data. I'm gonna buy the vegetables. And as I'm cooking the dinner, you're gonna understand what I'm doing here. So this is the model, read it. First read is hard, no problem. But first, we're gonna go to the empirics, collect the data, and then take it from there. We're gonna take data about company return, market return, RF risk-free return, and some political cycles. So we're gonna go to Excel and put the data here. From where we're gonna get it? The first data we're gonna get it is from, it's a library, French family library. He got the Nobel Prize. French and family, they got Nobel Prize in finance. And they have something called a French family three factors. You click on that, you open that, and you open that. And here you have a date. This is market minus RF, return stock market in the S&P index minus RF. If you go back here, so the first variable, so this is the first variable, and we got the RF as well. Perfect. So now I didn't need this, I didn't need this. I'm gonna delete some of those. I might, in the future, I can use them. We use them in research, but for simplicity of today's class, we're gonna take them. We will not use the data from 1926 because parties in the United States change alliance, change a lot of things has changed. So what we're gonna do is delete all of those, go straight to 91 when to 81 when Reagan became to be the president. Okay, so we're gonna go to January 81. Perfect. Delete. So this is our data. We're gonna take it all the way down to 2001, to 2021. Perfect. Copy. I have an Excel here. Right click, I click here. But you will have this Excel. You will have it in a folder when I go there. When I talk about the homework, you will have that. So this is 1981-01. That means January 1981. So now I need to talk about company return. So go back to the model. I'm still in buying vegetables and meat. I need to get the left-hand side, the right, which is the Y, company return. So here are the ingredients. So we need to collect them. Company return, we're going to go to Yahoo Finance. And I want to analyze banks. So I'm going to use JP Morgan. Usually banks are more with Democrat, although people think bankers and rich people go to Republicans, but not necessarily. So this is JP Morgan company. That's their figure, if you want, of JP Morgan. So we need to collect data about JP Morgan, about their price. We need to have it monthly, historical data. So we use monthly. Now we need to go back to the, so they have it March 1980. Fine. Apply and download. Open. So what's it? So this is, I see here 1985, January 1985. Why I want more? Okay, so that's what we have. It's just January 80, 85, doesn't matter. So return, well, return equal to simple, open parentheses, the closing price minus the closing price last month divided by the closing price last month. Enter. Drag it down. Here we go. So this is delete. So we have it till June 21 from 85 January. So this is the price in January 85. This is in February 1st. So that means this is a return for January 85. So I need to go back to our Excel, this one. So I have it here. I have to go all the way to 85. And delete. So now we have a January 85. So this is JP Morgan return, or in our model RJ. So this is will be equal. You go here, this one, and right click, copy. You go here, and then right click, values, and boom, bingo. We get the JP Morgan return. This is our Y. Now we need to create, so this is our Y. We need to create our X1 and X2. So this is X1 and this is X2. I call this X1, which is RM minus RF. X2 is the DT. So I'm going to create those. First of all, let me save that, save as. I'll do it later, I guess. So I need to do here. So be careful here that the market here price, it's in percentage, but JP Morgan is not in percentage. So RJ minus RF. So this is not a percentage, this is a percentage. So this is equal, we need to do everything in decimal. This divided by 100. Good. Now this, we need to calculate JP Morgan minus RF. So we're gonna go here and do this equal this minus the RF. The RF is in percentage, so divided by 100 again, enter. So that's here, we're done. here. Now the only variable left is DG, political cycle. So what's a political cycle so far? We have we have Reagan, so president. So we have Reagan. He started 1981 January 1981 till December 88. Now Reagan, period. He's a DG. So we're gonna say we're gonna create a binary variable, take a 0, 1 values. If it's Republican in power, it will be 0. If it's Democrat in power, it will be 1. Then we have a Bush from January 1989 till December 1992. And this is also Republican here. We have a Clinton from January 1993 till December 2000. But Clinton's a Democrat, so it's a 1. And we have Bush W from January 2001 till December 2008, and that's a Republican president. And we have a Barack Obama from January 2009 till December 2016, and he's a Democrat. And then we have a Trump from January 2017 till December 2020, and that's a Republican. And then we have Biden from January 2021 till present, and he's a Democrat. So we have a couple zeros, but a couple Republicans and a couple Democrats here. So we're going to start with Reagan. Reagan is a Republican, so that's a 0. He did all the way till, so the first one is January 1931 will be, 1993 will be a Democrat. So then Clinton came, and then that's still till January 2001. Then we have again a Republican president. And then Obama, January 2009, Obama. And then we have a Trump in 2017, January. And then we have Biden in 2021. Here we go. 1. Enter. The students, we're done. We collect all the data that we need. We get the vegetable, the tables, the fruit, the meat, everything. So we got all the data that we need. Now we're ready to kick some analysis, employ some analysis on this using this data. So as I said, we have a theory and we have empirical. We go to the Word document to Excel, Excel to Word, Word to Excel, and this kind of stuff. Now we're done with collecting data. Now we're going to go back to the theory, see what we correct, and how we can use it for the estimates. So now we're going to go to again to the theory. All right, so let's go to the again, share the screen, go to the Word document. So we said the company return minus the RF, which is access return for the company, equal a constant plus beta Beta G is reflect the CAPM model reflects the risk of the company. If it's above 1, that means the company is riskier than the market. If it's below 1, that means the company is less risky than the market portfolio. And our eyes in the theta G. So this is so we need to calculate data about RJ, which is a company return. We use JP Morgan, we get that. RF, we get that, which is risk-free return. And RM is market return. And DT 1, 0, 0 for Republican and Power, 1 otherwise. And then if we estimate this model, then we're gonna get a number or a coefficient theta, and this is our key indicator whether the company is favored by Democrat or favored by Republican or neutral. It doesn't matter what is favored by. So we're gonna go back to Excel and do that. So all what we need to do to go to data, and there is something called data analysis, but maybe you didn't have it. So let's do this. Let's take it off and put it again. So I'm gonna uncheck these boxes. Now this is gone, but we need it. So we're gonna go to File, Options, Add-ins, Go, check these boxes, and OK. Then you can see something's gonna data analysis. Click on it, and then go to something called regression. OK. And now they ask what's your Y. Again, you go to the Word document. Our Y is here. Here is our Y. The market return is the company return minus RF. And this is our X1, X2. So our Y is, look at this. I'm going to take the first row also and do like this. And then our X, we have two X's. Which is this and that, the market return, and this. Click here. Now, label. Do you have a labels? Yes, because we use the first row, so we're gonna say check here. Do you want a constant 0? No. We need the constant to be not 0. Confidence 95. That's fine. New workout spreadsheet. Yes. Say okay. Boom. We got the results. Now, before we analyze the results, we have to understand what we're reading here. First of all, R square, it reflects the fitness of the model, and it is between 0 means totally not perfect, totally not perfect fit, and 1 means perfectly fit. So it's between 0 and 1. It's 2%. For this kind of regression, it's a small. I wish it's bigger. Then we have the interception here. So I'm going to put it in yellow. There's a reason I'm doing that. Yellow. This one in green. And this one, I'm going to do it in red. Let me see how it's going to go with red. Okay, with red's good. Also, I want this one to be in the gray, and I will talk about that, why I need that. So what is that? Yellow, green, and red. So let's go to the handout. This is the yellow. This is the green, I guess. And this is the red. All eyes is on the theta J. But before we go there, let's see what beta and alpha and explain some finance inference. So if you look here, the interception means that in average, the JP Morgan is below the market return. So negative 0.0068, that means in every month, they underperform the market by this. Now the beta here, the green, is 0.24. That means JP Morgan is less risky than the market. If it's equal one, then it should be market. And then 0.01, that means theta is positive, and it means it's favored by Democrat. Now you need to look to the T-stat. It's below one, the absolute value of the T-stat below one. And then if you go to the handout, we talked about double here asterisk and statistically significant, i.e. absolute value of T-stat should be above one, above two, sorry. So it's below two. So that means the inference here is JP Morgan is favored by Democrat, but the results, so it's still close to, it's not, it's average or small. The results are not very, so the results are somehow statistically significant. So what does that mean? So above two, if the T-stat above two, this is T-stat here. That means statistically significant. If the T-stat below two, like between 1.5 and this, between two and like, let's put 1.5. There is no rules here. Then, as I said, it's not. So then, in that case, not like kinda significant, statistically significant, statistically significant, kind of. But below 1.5 weak. Okay. So what we have so far here, students. So what we have here, we have a theoretical model and we have empirical, and we got some results and we interpreted the results. Now, two things left. How, so we interpreted the results, we went here, we went to handout, we talked about it, but how we can build in this model also? Well, what you have to do is go back here. So this is the data, right? One of the key analysis that we do in this finance literature is we can do another analysis is, does the market index are better when Democrat in power or Republican in power? So that's another analysis we can do. So you go to data analysis, regression, you say, okay, if you want to examine whether the market is higher when Democrat in power, then all what you have to do is to regress the F column, which is the market access return, with political cycle, and do labels the same. Okay, so look what you got here. It says that when the Democrat in power, it's amazing results. The stock market every month is higher by 0.006, which is 12 times this. Like the market, the S&P is higher when Democrat in power by 7.6%. So that's amazing. So when Democrat in power, the stock market is higher. I mean, usually people think Republicans are good with the stock market, with Wall Street. Not necessarily here. You can see here that the market is higher, the S&P, the access return is higher when Democrat in power by 7.6. All right. So now, why the market is higher? As I said, there is a paper here called the puzzle, the presidential puzzle. I guess I have to do a couple backward, back. Another one maybe. Here, the presidential puzzle. So he shows that the stock market is higher by 9 percentage points and evaluated when the Democrats are in power. So this is amazing. This is amazing stuff because here we show that the stock market is higher when our Democrats are in power. The final things I want to show here that Democrat in power, the stock market in average is higher. The final thing I want to add here is we did this with the DT, but we can do that also. We did 1-0 of Democrat in power or not, right? Right. But you can do like how the company is sensitive to interest rate. You can put the interest rate data and see how JP Morgan is sensitive to interest rate and very sensitive. You can do the exchange rate between China and the US dollar. You can put that and do the same regression that we did here, and we got these numbers. So whatever number here, it will show you the sensitivity. So this is just a baseline, but you can build on that and have a beautiful ideas about how the company is sensitive to interest rate, how the company is sensitive to exchange rate. You can put this data about interest rate and exchange and estimate all this model, like all this X1, X2, X3, X4, and then you can have a better idea how much politics, interest rate, exchange rate, dollar weakness or strong dollar is good for the company or not. You can do all of these models, build it in that simple one. So it's basically, we did here political sensitivity. You can add here, for example, plus Z, which is a coefficient times exchange rate, or W multiplied by interest rate, and get some inference. How the company here will be sensitive to interest rate, how the company is sensitive to exchange rate. So that's what I want you to do. Our plan for this week is to create a video, choose a company, and estimate the theta for the company. That's all. Just to find a company other than JP Morgan. Now, some companies, their IPO was in 90s, some companies in 2000. I'm fine with that if they're not very old, but at least to have two regimes, one Democrat, one Republican. I cannot have a company have one regime during the Democrat and that's it, or during the Republican. It has to have some political cycle. Thank you very much. And if you have other questions, please email me or ask me. I hope you like this model.